Welcome to another episode of the Nourishing Africa podcast. Today we have Chiagozie Nwizu, the Managing Director of Franchise Business Development Services based in Lagos. Today he'll be deep diving into franchising of successful agricultural ventures in Africa, with a focus on the potentials for competence optimization and scaling. Hi Chiagozie, thank you for joining us. Please, before you kick off, kindly introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Chiagozie Nwizu. I'm the Managing Director of Franchise Business Development Services. I'll be speaking on the potentials of franchising for competence optimization and scaling of successful agricultural ventures in Africa. You know, with the increasing uptake of the franchising model in the agri sector, we are seeing multiplication of franchise type businesses in the agricultural value chain today in various parts of the world. And I feel it's about time that we begin to expose African entrepreneurs in the agricultural sector to this knowledge so they are able to tool up and take advantage of the potentials of the franchise model. So how do I start? I'll start by giving just a very brief introduction or explaining what franchising is all about. Franchising is a business giving another party the right to leverage its proven and scalable business system to operate a successful and profitable venture. This model can be adopted by an organization as its business expansion strategy. A key important aspect of franchise model is standards and control. The brand owner controls the quality of the goods, the services, the output that are delivered to the public or the people that patronize the product in such a standardized way, and ensuring that there is consistency across all business locations. In addition to ensuring standards across all business locations, the business owner gives timely business support and information to the franchisee, who is the investor that is taking advantage of the handed out business operating systems and all of that to franchise, to ensure implementation of standards is achieved in a successful manner. Now, franchising solves the problem of lack of discipline among entrepreneurs. It helps new entrepreneurs to operate successful businesses while helping the expanding business to access expansion funding and partners for his brand. Now, how can franchising become a tool for closing the competence gaps within the agricultural value chains? Let's look at the common challenges within the value chains. We have challenges like, which I believe we are very familiar with, challenges like training of the farmers on good agricultural practice, which is in short supply. There is need for support in input administration and modern farming practices. There is need for regular, reliable market information, standard input supplies, irrigation services, off-grid power supply to the remote locations where the farmers are operating, where most times there is no national power grid supply extending to them. There is need for equipment rental services, storage and preservative rental services, solution to product wastages, access to organized markets, access to storage facilities and other infrastructures, affordable funding solutions, quality staff with interest who take liking to agricultural practice, and capacity in the area of tool set handling and enterprise management. Now, would agree with me that these are the common challenges that plague the operators in the agri value chain. Now, all these challenges can be easily mitigated with the introduction of franchise extension services such as tractor rental services, cold storage hubs, transportation and logistics services, input supply chains, irrigation services, off-grid solar power services, to mention a few, all of which come with training, research and development. A number of the businesses, the models you've seen in India, in East Africa, and some other locations, these businesses, while through the chains of their franchisees at different locations, are able to administer training in the areas of skill set, tool set, and mindset down to the farmers right at the bottom of the pyramid. So franchising has proved over the years to be one of the most successful ways of conducting businesses. It has been effective in ensuring business growth with private ownership and skill transfer in developed and emerging markets. As a business model, it thrives on innovation and a willingness to do things differently from the usual. Okay, so one might be asking a question. I'm a business owner. I'm operating in the franchise value chains. Either it's at the input, the supply, the production, or extension service provision, and all of that. So how do I know if my business is qualified to take advantage of the franchise model? How do I, what are the criteria? So for you as a business owner, looking at how you could scale and expand your business by working with investors who could become partners, both locally and internationally, things you should watch out for to determine your readiness to take advantage of the franchise model would be an existing business. Your business has to be in an existing business that is at the phase of expansion, right? There would be significant demand for your products, your services, or whatever you have to offer beyond your immediate location. There has to be a proven and replicable business system. How structured is your practice of what you are doing? Quality management and its disposal to franchising. You have to be ready to provide support and hand-holding to your franchisees. So there has to be the commitment of you as a business owner to support the network of the entrepreneurs who are coming in as your franchisees. There has to be a quality of products and services with growing demand. Like I said, there has to be you have to be investment ready, right? So that people who are going to invest with you, taking advantage of your business system, will be able to operate a profitable business, meaning that what you're doing definitely has to be proven to be profitable. There has to be demand for opportunities. There would have been entrepreneurs who have identified what you are doing and they're asking how they could be a part of, they can plug into the value chain of your business and be able to make money for themselves without running the risk of failure, because they've seen you are very successful at what you do. Your brand quality has to be standing out. It has to stand out. Then for perhaps you are an entrepreneur, you are a prospective entrepreneur who do not want to take a risk of venturing into any of the owning a business in the agricultural value chain, and you are looking at taking up franchise option. What will be the criteria? What are the things you need to look out for? One will be the capacity to fund the venture. You can't borrow money to go into franchising. You have to have the motivation and drive as an entrepreneur to implement the standards and the requirements of running such a business. There has to be some businesses ask for certain qualification. Perhaps if you are going to own a franchise, in the tractor, tractor leasing, equipment leasing, perhaps they might be asking that you have a bit of a knowledge in handling equipment or stuff around engineering. So there will have to be willingness to submit to the standards that are set by the franchisor. Your availability to manage and operate the business, and also readiness to operate the business under the name of the franchisee, franchisor rather, which in most cases is a norm. There should be capability to meet the territory targets. You will probably have to have the target to cover certain territory, doing business in a very competitive way, in line with how the brand wants to compete with other operators. And maybe there's also going to be some kind of a culture and character fit which you have to look out for. So in summary, I would list various ways the practice of the franchise business model could benefit and impact African businesses in the agricultural value chain. One would be there is going to impact by limited chance of business failure. There will be enhanced expansion capabilities. There will be nurturing and developing of entrepreneurial talents as emerging entrepreneurs are able to key into the systems and the guidelines provided by the franchisor. There will be ease of knowledge transfer and standardization, which is very critical, especially in Africa. There will be job creation, improved incomes, and standard of living for the poor, because if we're able to scale successful businesses, we're also able to scale jobs. There will be aggregation of support to the local enterprises to scale and expand. Will be able to boost the GDP, of course, as we all know, strengthening the economy, because we know in most African economies they are enterprise driven, and majority of these enterprises are agricultural oriented. So we'll also be able to enhance collaboration and linkages among entrepreneurs who are able to work together. We'll be able to see more of training and knowledge sharing and transfer, right? Also, there could be increase in productivity and food availability, so that quite a number of African countries are not food production sufficient, and they depend largely on importation of food. So then we'll also be able to see enhancement of product quality. There would also be inflow of finance and other intervention support in the sector through maybe development agencies and the government, who rely on very structured operational and profitability of a venture for them to provide without funding support or any kind of technical support. Then there could businesses in the agri space that are franchising could also now attract support to develop bespoke franchise model in the sector, which some development agencies finance. We also see more of ease to access to low cost funding, and perhaps aggregation and linkage and ease of access to support and extension services. So these are the things that are, in my opinion, things we will be expecting to achieve by the introduction of the franchise model, and gradual uptake of the model by businesses that are operating in agricultural value chain. I hope this conversation has really been beneficial to an entrepreneur in agri chain, wherever you might be in Africa. And I look forward to interacting and engaging and taking questions wherever that might be required. Thank you very much. Do have a lovely day.
Thank you very much, Chiagozie, for joining us today. We really appreciate you. And to all our listeners, thank you very much. Bye-bye.